Welcome to Egg Foo What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Egg Foo What? This week I am beyond excited. We have a special guest with us, and by special guest I don't mean one of Mike's friends from Jersey, or as I call them, the Rats of Earth. We have not just a competitive eater. I've been a fan of him for a couple of years now. He's the second ranked competitive eater in the world. Let's put him together for Jeff Esper.
Thank you.
So humble. This is a person, like I said, Jeff, I've been a fan of yours for, I think, going on 2 years now, since I stumbled into this rabbit hole of competitive eating videos. And we're going to get into it in a second, but I did go back. The first time I mentioned you on my blog was after you had tried an Easter ham.
Yeah.
Last year, 14 pounds. Let's start with a defeat. You had a little trouble with it. Do you remember the 14? And what was so? I've seen you take down more than 14 pounds at a time.
Yeah, that was rough because it's just the salt, and you can't really eat it too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets to be a time thing. And once you start eating for more than an hour is about the limit, because all the stuff really starts absorbing your system like that. And it's just fun after that. And I had enough. Sometimes you have bad days too.
Hey, just because I ate 15 rolls one time at a lunch in high school.
Bread rolls?
15 rolls at lunch one time in high school. So
yeah, see, that's a little easier. It doesn't really break down in your stomach.
And they were tastier, I think, than the whole. And the other reason I remember it is because when I was a kid, we did give our dog, my brother and I, gave our dog leftover ham, which was probably whatever normal Sunday ham is. We just gave it to her to see if she would eat it, and she ate the whole thing. And you could just see her pitiful belly just swinging, and she would try to walk to us. But anyway, like I said, I've been a big fan, and the competitive eating world is fascinating once you go down that. I don't want to keep saying a rabbit hole, but how did you kind of get into it? Were you just always a big eater, and your friends were like, "Hey, you should start doing this for real," or how did it kind of begin for you?
Well, I was always a big eater. I always could eat more than my friends, and then afterwards I wouldn't be uncomfortable. Like most of the time, if you overeat, like you can't move.
Oh yeah.
Like I would race them back to the car. Like after we go to a buffet or something like that, I'd race them back to the car to get the front seat, and it wouldn't bother me. Like, and they were just like, "Oh my God, I can't even." And
I would have been one of those guys.
I always had a good stomach. Like I never really got like upset stomachs, or I never got like indigestion or heartburn or anything like that. So I was always pretty good like that. And then so I got into it by I always wanted to do it. I used to watch the Coney hot dog thing on TV when I was younger, and I wanted to get into it. And I actually started training a long time ago to get into it, but it was really before the internet was like, really big. So I couldn't find too many contests and stuff. So I kind of quit. Mm-hmm. So later on, I kind of, I dieted down. A lot of people do the same thing. Like they diet down and try to get in really good shape. I think Randy's done it. Katina's done it. And just a bunch of people do that. And then you start getting into food challenges, and then you go from food challenges to contests and to the bigger contests. And then you find your way to Nathan's.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Nathan's, you did have an incredible run this summer, finishing runner-up to Joey Chestnut. How does that feel?
Yeah, I wasn't real happy with my number. I wanted to get over 50, but the hot dogs this year, I don't know. The year I think 2 years ago or the year before that, I did 50. The hot dogs are really good. They made them ready. It was at the ballpark, and they made really nice. And this year, man, we got out there, and it was probably a good 45 minutes before we were going to be going on stage, and the hot dogs were already sitting out there on the table. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awful.
Oh yeah.
And they were like those buns. You couldn't tell if those buns were in a toaster oven or just sitting on the table there. They were so crunchy, and the hot dogs, they get all rubbery sitting out like that. So I knew right then that my number was going to be a little off, but it was. I was happy to get second. That was.
Yeah. No, I was watching that competition, and they were showing some of your previous records as they introduced you. and I believe they mentioned the spam, your record with spam. That really caught my eye. And I mean, I was a big fan of spam when I was a kid.
Yeah, but not like this. This was
Well, the first question is it cooked?
no, it was.
It's raw spam.
They took the cans, they opened them, and they plopped them right on a plate. You know, just a block of spam, 2 per plate, and then they let them set out for about half an hour. So you know, on the outside of the spam, dried up, and it was really hot out that day, so the spam got really warm, sitting out in the sun, and it was just awful. That was the worst food we ever had at a contest. I was so I just tried enough to win, and that was it. I didn't want to eat anymore.
But you won though.
Enough to win.
You powered through, as they say.
Yeah, it was gross.
Wow.
Just enough to win. That sounds like an old Milton Berle joke that is not for family programs like this. But I didn't know they cook spam. Do people normally cook spam?
Yeah, we used to eat it. Yeah, we would put it in a broiler.
Yeah, you fry
or fried. Yeah.
Or you can chop it up and you can cook it and put it in like scrambled eggs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good if you prepare it right.
Yeah, no, we loved it. Then we graduated to pork roll or Taylor ham in New Jersey. There's a never-ending contest. They just had a
drink.
I just did a pork roll contest
down in Trenton.
How'd you do? Did you beat Mike?
I won. Yeah, it's in Trenton, right at the Arm & Hammer Stadium there.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And
you won that contest.
Corn dog, didn't you? Just won corn dogs.
Well, corn dogs was kind of I just went there to break the record. There was a contest. I wasn't in the contest. I was like before the contest. They had see if I could break the record for most corn dogs eaten in 3 minutes.
Unbelievable. Now, I have a question. Actually, interesting. You talk about things sitting out for a while and the effect it has. Sometimes when I'm watching these videos of whomever, and they seem to, for some reason, I think because I've seen these videos, I have an idea of what the best strategy would be. And it seems like they always leave French fries or bread for the end. Whereas I would think once they set, they're going to be difficult. Is that something you guys know to save to the end? Or
to me, it doesn't matter the order you eat the stuff in. It's all got to fit. So maybe that's just because they like the French fries the best. They save them towards the end so they taste good, or they don't like them or something like that. To me, it doesn't matter. I eat anything in any order. It comes. I don't have a special way of eating it. And my mindset is it's all got to fit in there in the end anyways, so it doesn't matter.
All got to fit there in the end. That is going to be an Egg Foo What t-shirt. And we cannot pay you for that. So. We'll change the spelling just so.
I see you. You also have a chicken wings record at Hooters.
Yeah, the most Hooters eating at the 10-minute contest. Yeah, I can't remember the number though. I can never remember these things.
Now, how do they judge whether? I mean, a chicken wing. It's hard to get all the meat off. So yeah,
so what we do is we get bowls of wings, and they weigh the bowl very accurately. So it weighs 20 pounds, 1 ounce, 1.05.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then we eat out of the bowl.
They
weigh it again afterwards, and then they have a formula to equate that to number of wings eaten. So they really didn't count the wings.
I see. Okay, that's interesting. I had no idea how they would judge that.
Can we get a conspiracy going about the bad counting for these wings contests? Somebody once lost a McNugget contest through dubious counting. I may have taken this if you want to proceed.
There is a wing contest that we do, and they don't show us the pre-weighing of the wings, just the post-weighing of the wings.
Mm-hmm.
I think those trays are not quite the same. I don't know. There's something very fishy going on. I think we're gonna have to get something done about that next year.
I have some lawyer friends if you want to.
There were a couple items on your list that I didn't even know what they were. Can you tell us what a slopper is?
Yeah, so slopper is just picture a open faced cheeseburger with green chili sauce dumped on top.
And that's by weight?
By sloppers, by the number of sloppers.
Oh, okay.
Is that supposed to be like a sloppy Joe that's put together kind of thing?
It's a burger patty with cheese on it. Just figure take a cheeseburger, take the top bun off, and dump some chili sauce on top.
I'd love to. That sounds good.
And then there was
do you have a favorite food you've eaten in a competition and the least favorite? Like,
upstate New York, they had this contest. It was at a horse racetrack, and they were called chicken speedy sandwiches. Oh man, those things were delicious. Yeah, it was like chunks of chicken breast that were marinated. So it was almost like a healthy. It was pretty healthy, and yeah, they were like on these really nice rolls. Oh, that was so delicious. That was really I used to love those. Those are probably my favorite thing. And then the White Hut cheeseburgers that we had at the Big E.
Wow.
Now, was there what was the food that brought you into the whole competition? Was one particular food the one that you wanted to excel at?
Hot
Was it
dogs.
the hot dogs? Okay, yeah. So you've been going. How long have you been going to the Nathan's contest?
I think I've been there 5 times now.
5 times. Yeah.
You're a
This
little. I feel like your presence is a little downplayed because I think I followed you, subscribed to you for probably a year before I realized you were the #2 eater in the world. I feel like there's the Matt Stoneys out there that they're all great, but they seem to have more of a presence. And then you come in and you're just like a shark chewing through everything and everybody. And this all of a sudden you're #2. Are you?
Well, there was another kid there, Carmen Sincotti, that was really good. He was probably a little bit better than me, but he got smart and decided that it wasn't worth it, and he quit. So then I moved up to the second position there, and then I started doing better. And yeah, it's tough because everybody just knows Joey and they want to come out and see Joey, and that's where all the promotion goes.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of him, is there any trash you want to talk on Joey Chestnut?
I mean, like a regular guy, you don't really he'll talk trash about me, but he doesn't like to lose. That's for sure. He gets a little upset sometimes.
Have you beat him? Head to head?
Oh yeah, I think I beat him over 20 times.
Woo!
hot dogs or
No, not hot dogs. Everything else but hot dogs.
Now this is a Chinese takeout food show.
Yeah.
I see you've got egg rolls in one of your
egg rolls. I did fried rice.
Oh, fried rice too.
Yeah, I did a bunch of orders of fried rice.
I remember the fried rice one. Yeah,
I did General Gao's chicken, but it was the frozen kind you get in the supermarket. It was awful.
Oh God, yeah, no, that sounds awful.
Sour chicken one after that. That was good.
Now, what is you see the behind the scenes horrors when people are getting sick? They use a euphemism. It's royal. What is it? Royal redemption or what?
Oh,
they say Elvis has left the building, but that I don't know. You don't really, you don't see that. Like you
reversal of fortune.
Yeah, no, you
reversal of fortune.
Yeah, reversal of fortune. They use that, but I don't really see any of that. I mean, we're all used to it. So, I mean, if we do want to get rid of it, we can go to wherever we want to go. We don't have to like turn around and get rid of it right away. I mean, yeah. So some people do that, some people don't, and it's just not for me to eat like 10 pounds of food would just be you to like overeat a little bit. You wouldn't be too uncomfortable,
That's like a superpower. I mean, and obviously, and I've noticed with a lot of these guys, you seem to work out a lot. Like you're very, do you do that on purpose to balance out the eating, or you just always been super healthy working out? Or
it's good to be leaner. You don't want to have any fat, a little fat as possible, because it's counterintuitive. Muscle can stretch where fat doesn't really stretch. So like if you want your stomach to expand, the fat acts like a girdle, and you have to, it's harder for you to expand.
Yeah. Did you watch the 30 for 30?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I found it heartbreaking. As someone who remembers when Kobayashi came on the scene, and he smashed all the records. He was a hero. And then to see how everybody kind of turned on him was a real bummer. I'm not asking you for any inside scoop on any of that.
Know too much. That was before my time, but it is kind of a bummer. But he did kind of do it to himself because he didn't want to sign the contract, and so he can't eat if you don't sign the contract. He wanted to be able to do other stuff besides Nathan's, and the contract says you can't.
Yeah.
So that Joey had to sign the same contract, and you can negotiate the contract. I don't know his lack of being able to speak English very well went against him there. But he just didn't want to be nailed down, so he kind of did it to himself a little bit. And then Joey was kind of kicking his butt there, and I don't think he liked that too much either.
Yeah, I mean, I felt there was a little tinge of a little too much USA in your face. There was a little bit of go back home kind of thing, which is ugly. But
probably was from George Shea there, promoter.
I gotta say, I mean, that guy, and I'm gonna get that was my next question, asking about him. I mean, was he made for that job as like the carnival barker of that?
He does a good job, definitely.
Yeah.
Most of what he says is made. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't. I think he said that I was married with 4 children and I was a scoutmaster. I didn't know you were married. I said, I'm not. That's all made up and fake.
he does. There's something about him. He's bullshitting you, and he knows that he's bullshitting you, but he's so good at it.
Yeah.
Like he puts on such a show. I mean, what they've done with that whole thing over the years, turning it into this like 8-hour event, is really remarkable.
Well, that is definitely the biggest competitive eating. Most people think that's the only one. They don't even know about these other ones.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna ask you about a couple of my other favorites. And again, you don't have to do anything crazy personal, whatever. Just overall general thoughts. And these are all big ones, like Matty Stone, who I think is the only one who has beaten Joey Chestnut.
He beat him at hot dogs. Yeah, it was one year. Joey got jilted. His fiance dumped him, and it really hit him. So Joey had a bad year that year, and Matt just capitalized on it. Matt had extremely good years. You can't take that away from him.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember seeing after that contest, he was so full. He was like trying to do media and talk to people, and he was like leaning forward just because his stomach was just so full. You could see how uncomfortable he was. He really pushed himself.
Yeah, he's great. He eats a lot of crazy stuff.
And he's self-made too. I mean, he started his YouTube up all by himself, and he got that to grow. And
he's got 10 million viewers. He seems to be upper. And my other 2 favorites are Beard Meets Food.
Yep.
Any inside scoop on him?
No, I mean, I did I did a contest with him not too long ago. It was a sausage. It was a sausage contest in Texas. No, he's just like a regular guy. There's nothing special about him.
I do have one question about him. I follow him pretty, on Instagram. When is this? He has his fiance, Miss Beard.
Yeah.
When is this wedding actually going to happen? Because this seems to be a long engagement.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that never happened. Who knows? Maybe they just like living like that. I never really talked.
Are you giving us a breaking scoop, Jeff Esper? Are you telling us
about it
live on the air that they are done?
Maybe he's going to wait for him to retire from the competitive eating first. I don't know.
He's great. What I love about him is, or at least in the beginning when I started watching him, he'd plow through whatever the restaurant challenge was, and then it always asked for a milkshake on top of it.
Yeah.
I was always like, either he's delightful or this is like he's doing an in your face thing, but
I think both.
Little both, huh?
A little both.
And then my last one I would ask you about is Joel Hansen.
Yeah.
Now this guy, he does seem like a machine. I've never seen him come close to not demolishing whatever he's eating, but he doesn't do the Nathans. I haven't really seen him at any major events. He's not on the official page. What's the story with him?
He will do a contest, an independent contest every now and then. He does a lot of them with like amateurs and stuff like that, but he will do one with pros every now and then. He doesn't win them.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely good, entertaining and stuff like that, but he's not. People think that like, oh my God, if he were to do Coney, he would like blow everybody out of the water, and it definitely wouldn't happen.
Huh.
He hasn't really done any of the really big challenges in the US. Like he sticks to. Yeah.
I didn't know if there was some.
There's like the big 3 challenges. I say like if every competitive eater that you want to be really known as really good, you should do. One out the West Coast one is the Big Fat Fatty.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one in Ohio called the Southside 6 challenges, gyros. It's a lot of gyros. People kind of blow it up. They say, oh, that's like 20 pounds of food. It's probably 15 pounds, but people, they blow it up because it's 15 pounds is a hard challenge. That's really, really difficult challenge. And then the one on the East Coast here up in Boston, the Eagles Deli. So I think those are the big three. And I think Joel has done Eagles as the only one. That's probably the easiest out of all three of them.
And what's the fatty fat? What is
Big fat big sandwich with like full of anything you can imagine. It's all fried food, French fries, hamburgers, jalapeno poppers, and fried cheese and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, because I'm one of those people that I watch him and I'm like, why isn't he just destroying Nathan's? But
no, he wouldn't be in there. He might do okay, top 5 maybe. I don't know if he get in the top 5. It's tough to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, different. It's competitive eating's totally different thing than those restaurant challenges. Totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to hate him when I first discovered him because he's an underwear model. He's great looking. I was like, I wanted to be like, oh, screw this guy. And then it's like, oh, and he's nice. It's like,
He came in my area. I mean, I think he was like literally 15. There's a challenge like 15 minutes away from my house that he did. He didn't contact me or anything to go do it. And then so he's been through this area.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. We're gonna let you go. We don't want to keep.
Wait, I just wanted to ask one question. Now, are all the eating competitions dashes rather than marathons?
Yeah, all our contests, they're either 6, 8, 10, and then the longest is 12 minutes, and that's only one wing contest. It's 12. I'd say most of them are either 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
The longer, the Japanese style of competitive eating, those are like 30 to 40-minute contests, and that's it's a little bit different type of thing. We don't do that here in the U.S., but that's big in Japan.
Oh, okay. Because I had an idea. What if you just like set up banquet tables, and you had like an afternoon, and see like who could demolish the most of a banquet table over a given couple hours or so,
I mean, that would be rough. After an hour, I mean, it gets.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned that earlier. Yeah. So an
hour
of
eating.
Banquet table.
Yeah.
the toughest challenge I ever did, I finished in just under an hour. That's like eating constantly for an hour.
Wow. What was that?
It was called the Edible Hulk. It was up in Vermont. The owner was just insane, and he was like giving it to like amateur people to do. And I was like, "Are you insane?" So I went up there to try to show him like it can be done, but not by. It was really big. If you look at the picture of it in front of me, you're like, "There's no way possible."
Wow.
Is there a dream food you wish was a contest?
Oh man, every pizza contest, I love them.
Who has the record for pizza right now?
There's different. I mean, there's different ones because there's one giant slices and then 12-inch pies and all stuff like that. I think I've only lost one pizza contest that I've ever done, and I beat Joey at most of them. He beat me one time.
Did it have cookie contests? I see the donuts and pastries.
I haven't seen one. They might have. They had they had ice cream sandwiches that were made out of. They were like cookies with ice cream in the middle.
Because that's the only thing I think I could compete in. that's the one thing I really overdo.
Ice cream cookies?
Well,
no, just cookies in general. And,
it's tough. You're not dunking them and enjoying them and chewing. You're basically biting and trying to chew them, swallow them whole and stuff like that. It's not as much fun. I bet that would tear your mouth apart actually if they weren't like soft cookies.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's tough. You're not. It's competitive eating's not like sitting down and eating like you're thinking. It's totally. It's how fast can you swallow and fill up your bag? That's what the contest is.
You're not really romanticizing this.
No, I think like, oh my god, all these
and we haven't even touched on what happens like a couple hours later, right? I mean,
well, you did earlier. That's kind of what you launched. That's what you started with.
But your stomach doesn't really do anything with the food for a long time. It sits there, and you start to get really, really thirsty. I mean, and then you can't drink a lot because you've got a lot of food in your stomach. So it's kind of like this battle back and forth of trying to get the food to process and trying to get as much liquid in you as you can.
Hmm.
And it takes probably a day or two to get everything processed and before you feel normal again.
Is there a nobody listens to this, so I want you to feel you're in a safe space. Is there one eater that everybody hates when they show up? Like, oh, this bleep and bleep for whatever reason.
Probably me. Yeah.
No, come on now.
No, most of the people in competitive eating, they're pretty nice people, and we all like to see each other at the contests and stuff like that. I can't say there's anybody like oh my god, that idiot is here. At least not in the not in our Major League Eating. Maybe in the independent league, there's this but I can't think of anybody. There's no one I like.
Yeah. Do you think it's because once you reach that level, everybody kind of respects each other? You're kind of at the top. So why would you be?
And most of them are nice people. I mean, they're all characters in their own way. You know, you got Badlands Booker. I mean, there's not a nicer person in this planet.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Badlands. Just don't stand next to him in the contest. You're gonna get soaked.
When I first moved to Brooklyn, this is '98. So the hot dog, it was a contest, but I think the record was still 25 or something.
Yeah.
And first time I heard of it, and I was watching, they're like, Badlands Booker. And you sit like, oh, this guy must be amazing. Because he's big. And at that time, you didn't realize competitive eaters could be small. And he ate like 3 hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, he did. I mean, there was a period there in his career that he did pretty good. I don't think he was ever the best. He's more of a character, you know.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Pretty good doesn't get you on Egg Foo What? That's all.
1 million followers on YouTube, and he's got that. So.
I know. The other one I want to roll my eyes at is Eater X.
You didn't like Tim Janis?
He used to just always show up, and I'm like, well, I can show up and eat 3 hot dogs and paint my face.
He was pretty good. I mean, he would usually place first or second or third at a contest.
All right. You're being very generous to you.
No,
right?
he was pretty good.
Is he still around?
I've talked to him a couple times. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've met.
But I think he might have snuck in a couple bronzes before it really became what it is now. Like,
yeah. Well, again, he was more of a character, because he used to paint his face and stuff like that, and be more of a showman.
I like that. And I'm busting Badlands Booker's chops, but I did see he recently, I guess his thing now is drinking gallons of
Badlands chugs. Yeah, and he switched his YouTube channel to just pure chugging, and his channel took off. It blew up.
Seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you want to take with all of our fans? You got an event coming up? You got a young up-and-comer competitive eater you want to either promote or stomp into the ground? We can help you with that.
No, I mean, I can't think of actually any new competitive eaters up and coming. I'd like to see some more. Mm-hmm. There was one new guy out of Australia. I'll tell you this.
Those people eat anything, and that's not fair. Come on.
Yeah, he came to the US, and I think he kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. But then at the contest, it was a pizza eating contest, and his wife was live streaming it or something like that. And she started to get on there saying that I cheated and I reversed and stuff like that. And she said, you could see it in the video, and we'd show her the video, and like, where? Oh, right there. What are you talking about? Like, I mean, she went really nuts about it, and she kept messaging me and all kinds of stuff that I cheated and I was no good. I'm like, what? My God, like, she was insane.
Yeah, in Australia, the water goes down drains opposite way.
Yeah, they go backwards there, but yeah, she's cuckoo. I don't know what her problem was.
Are you automatically eliminated if you reverse?
Yeah. No, there was no reverse. Like, she's not. I mean, even at a chili contest, like that's the one where you really see people lose it.
That's good to know.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Jeff, for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Been big fan for a long time. I would say you're my favorite. Oh, let me take a quick second, if you don't mind. One of the things I think that made me separate you out from some of the others is, I don't know if you notice when you do this, but when you're doing one of your things at home, you mention how much everything things cost, you're like, I mean, here you are about to eat these massive amount of food, but you're always like, yeah, this costs. I got two for $3 here. They had a sale here, which I love, in which I bust Mike's chops all the time on here because he always wants to gripe about how much whatever we're eating costs, and I just really love, like, again, I don't even know if you notice it, but you're like, I wanted to save a couple of bucks here and there, and it just really, I think, endears you to folks out there who already are amazed at how much you eat. People that little touch.
People think that like you're on YouTube, you make tons of money, but actually per video, if I buy the food and it costs $40-$50 and all said and done, I probably break even on the videos. I don't make any money on them a lot of times. So I like to mention it because I don't want to lose money on making videos.
Yeah. It just really means a lot.
You don't want to be, in other words, you don't want to be like Egg Foo what?
Don't worry, we'll cut that out. We'll edit that. Well, Mike, do you have any parting words, or?
At least you guys aren't eating like a poo-poo platter for $5. You're only eating like more.
well, I gripe because some of the dishes you can't get the small order.
Here we go.
So you have to get like the large order. Like today we are doing twice cooked pork. Have you ever had that?
No.
No. Okay.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, I didn't hear of it until like a week ago. So we're just working our way down the menu, eating all these things nobody's ever heard of before. And sometimes they make you get the larger order instead of a small order. So I complain about that.
They used to have a Chinese food challenge. It's no longer around. It's defunct. It was called the Lucky 7. So it had 7 different types of chicken on it, and you had to finish it all. I think it was like over 7 pounds of like different types.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
do you have a favorite Chinese food dish, or?
Every time I went, I'd get the poo-poo platter, or I'd try to find a buffet and just graze the buffet.
Can't go wrong with a buffet. Well, hopefully it would pique your interest about Egg Foo Young.
I never had. I gotta try it.
Most people haven't. I've found out over the years, so that's kind of how we got started on this. So I can't be the only person in the world keeping Egg Foo Young alive. I mean, God knows I try. But
it must be good.
It's good. Give it a try. Just saying.
Yeah.
Give it a try. Then you come back, and we'll have a contest between the 3 of us who can eat the most Egg Foo Young patties.
I think you 2 against me.
I think I could do 4, and Mike could do 2. So if you think you can do better than 6 Egg Foo Young patties,
1 minute or
1 minute? What are you, crazy? What? Like 20 minutes. 1 minute. Or we can see who can do the most destruction in 1 minute. Either way, we'd love to have you back for a little Egg Foo Young fun. Once you try it, and if you
I would like to film a video of a Chinese buffet, but just filming that sounds like it'd be a pain, and you have to get permission from them and all that type of stuff.
I've seen. Well, that's one of Joel's things. He likes to eat so much they kick him out or whatever. That's his thing.
Yeah, he's got a whole promotion team. I don't know if you know that. When he goes around and does these tours and stuff like that, he has a team that sets all that up and stuff for him. He's not just him doing it on his own.
Jeff, you tell me you want to shut him off. It's done. It's done.
No, do his own thing. He's doing good.
He's doing good, but yeah. So anytime you want to jump in with the Egg Foo Young, if you give me permission to hound you every week, we'd love to have you back on anytime. This has been nothing but a joy, a treat for me. Sincerely, I can't thank you enough for coming on here with your time and everything. It really means a lot, and I'm looking forward to being even more of a fan as you keep going.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I got pumpkin pie coming up next weekend. I got a dozen of these sitting here.
Preview. How long does it take you to eat a dozen pies?
Well, I'm gonna slice them up. I don't know. I'm gonna set the clock for 10 minutes and get through as many as I can in 10 minutes. That won't be one of my videos for YouTube. That's just practicing for the contest. That's why I haven't been putting out many videos lately, because I practice for contests and stuff like that. It's just too much.
Yeah. How many pies you think you can do in the 10 minutes? You think you can do all 12?
Yeah, let's see. They weigh for 1 pound 6 ounces. I'm hoping to get through 15 pounds. So that's yeah, maybe close to all of them.
So do you think the weight is all that, you know what your weight is, and you can sort of estimate from the weight of the food? Is that how you kind of?
And the consistency of the food depends on what kind it is. Like for hot dogs, 10 or 11 pounds is usually what I shoot for.
Okay.
Pie and chili. Well, chili I'll go for 20 pounds.
Wow.
I've seen you do 17 pounds of shepherd's pie, maybe.
I did 22 pounds of baked beans.
That's what it 22, yeah, baked beans.
That's amazing.
Mike, do you have any questions about what happened after that?
No, I think I can use my imagination.
Please
Not
don't.
pretty. Not pretty, I would assume.
Please don't.
Ever have any plumbing problems that you have to call the plumber?
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't happen now. You don't have just like a giant.
Can you send a school sample to Mike? Mike, what kind of show are we? We're trying to be classy.
I always know the people that ask me that question are the ones that have problems after they eat.
Oh no, I'll be the first one to admit it. If I overeat,
I thought you were going to say the people that ask you that are nothing but hacks.
Well, thanks again, Geoffrey. This has been great. Love to have you back sometime.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck with the pies.
All right. All right. Adios.
Bye.
Bye. I gotta figure out how to end this thing.
We're trying to talk about you. Yeah.
It won't pop up.
On the bottom on the
You're
lower
welcome
right.
to stay with us. We're going to talk about double pulled pork or double cooked pork.
Yeah, it won't disappear. Nothing pops up. Let's see.
The end button.
Yeah. You're welcome to stay. You don't have to do this. You can just tell us you want to stay. We're honored. Trust me.
No, seriously, there's nothing popping up. What if I just shut my phone off? Hopefully, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing popping up on the screen here. What's it?
Something's happening.
Oh,
watch your video.
That's a start, right?
Oh, okay. There he's still here.
Mike, we found the one person less good with technology than you. Didn't think it could happen.
No, it's just not like there's nothing popping up on the screen to like it doesn't say end video, end session like it usually does, right?
Does it say leave or
it's usually in the lower right?
No, it's nothing there. There's my picture there. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. You guys are stuck with me forever.
I'll be honest, this is the best. This is the best radio we've done.
You guys got a lot of editing to do.
No, trust me, this is the best part.
This is behind the scenes.
I don't know.
This is the most entertaining 2 minutes I've had in this show. well, there. Rats. He's gone. Okay. Well, I mean, how amazing was he? I mean,
yeah, no, that was a great guest. Good job, Greg. You came through. I put the pressure on you, and you came through.
What pressure?
I wanted you to get a guest. I got all the previous guests.
Oh, he was. I mean, how generous was he with telling us stuff? Like, I thought, we'd have to pull stuff out of him. He was even better than I thought it'd be. I mean,
yeah, no, you didn't think he'd be very talkative, but that was great. He was very
yeah, I didn't know if he was super chatty but I mean, I knew it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, I feel like an idiot because I probably had 50 questions I wanted to ask him, and then I got a little kerfuffled.
Yeah, you seemed a little odd. I didn't know how deep you went with the competitive eating, but it sounds like you've been a big fan for quite a while.
Yeah, there's a couple I track and pop in, even if I don't actually watch the whole video. I like to see what they're up to, what they're doing. I like to see the food itself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just been always, super consistent. Like I said, you wouldn't think, he does these videos. He seems just a very normal guy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, he's going up with Joey Chestnut, and he's the #2 ranked eater, and it's like,
Yeah.
But that's fantastic. I'm gonna blather on about how great he is.
Okay. No, I enjoyed that interview quite a bit, and I had no idea. I'm probably going to be going down a rabbit hole with all these YouTube competitive eaters after this. So it was interesting to get his take on that.
Yeah, yeah. But okay, I'm gonna blather. So let's talk about double. I keep wanting to say double pulled pork.
Yeah.
Which I think is because I have probably like 30 teenage adolescent jokes for that, but it's twice cooked pork.
Yeah, I think I've seen it double cooked, but it's called twice cooked pork on my menu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What did you think of it?
What did I think of it? I think here we fucking go again.
All right.
A pile of stuff. A lot of it was cabbage.
Yeah.
A lot of the foundation was watercress things.
Oh, I didn't have any of those.
I'm going to turn my video off now since Jeff's gonna. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's just a mound of stuff, the same old stuff. I pick out the pork. I don't think it was pork. I'm pretty sure it was chicken.
Oh, that's not good.
And then cabbage kept popping up. It's just another case of what are we doing?
Yeah, I was actually I took a peek of what this dish looked like beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the pictures I saw online were so appetizing. I'm like, oh man, I think we found, the new #1. And then I get it. And the first thing that hits me is,
hold on. Did you mean new #1 in front of Egg Foo Young?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I thought it had a lot of potential. I'm seeing some of the pictures of it and it looked fantastic. It looked like, to me, I love like the boneless spare ribs, but it looked like sort of like bigger chunks of the boneless spare ribs, but like maybe in a different type sauce, but, very appealing. It looked, like kind of crispy. I like crispy boneless spare ribs. And so
is the picture I'm looking at yours, or is this?
Well, the picture
I continue of you for some reason posting a random picture.
No. Yeah, this is a picture I got online.
Do you do that with this is my family? You just show pictures of like people online.
It's just no, it's easier to do because I'm doing this on a computer rather than on my phone. So I take the pictures of my meal on my phone, and I don't want to sit here and transfer the damn thing. It's just a headache. So anyway, when I select this picture,
wow,
I try to match it up to the closest to what I had. And when I got it, I'm looking at it, and the gravy, it was like practically coming over the banks of the container, which it was mine was very wet.
I like the banks of my container. That is good. I'm writing that down.
Was yours very wet?
It was wet, but it didn't seem to be. It didn't seem like it was setting in some sort of broth. It just seemed like everything was wet.
Okay. Because mine was literally in like broth. Yeah. I mean, it was that wet. And what it reminded me of, it reminded me of the pepper steak and onions, except they swapped out the beef.
Yes.
They swapped out the onions.
Yep.
They threw in the cabbage. I had some carrots. I don't know if you had the carrots. I didn't have the watercress.
No carrots.
Yeah, I had some carrots, I guess, in lieu of the watercress for the crunchiness. But the pork was definitely pork. And the pork itself was fine. It was pretty good. Like I said, it was wet rather than what I thought it was going to be, like chunks of barbecue pork. So it was not quite as good as I anticipated. But, I'll rate it as sort of a variation on the pepper steak and onions. If you like pepper steak and onions, but you don't like beef, maybe this is the dish for you. If you like pork better than beef. You know, that's
what if you like pork, but they give you chicken?
well, you should have took that right back.
Oh.
That's a consumer concern.
I mean, I didn't see any. It's not like most dishes where it's like pick a protein. This was called double cooked pork or twice cooked pork.
Yeah.
It wasn't twice cooked whatever, and
Mhm.
then choose your thing.
Yeah.
But for this, they think so lowly of me that they said, "Fuck it, give them chicken." This
I mean,
is,
are you sticking to this one place? Are you still bouncing?
I'm bouncing, yeah,
Yeah,
bouncing.
yeah.
Yeah, I just go to whatever pops up.
You haven't zeroed in on a place that really knocked you out and you
No,
like made a commitment. Because
no.
I'm bouncing again myself. After I got that bad egg roll from the other place, I'm like, maybe I should go back to my earlier place. So I'm back at the China Moon.
Back to China Moon came
China Moon,
crawling
yeah.
back. Well, well, well. If it isn't Mike Lesk,
Yeah.
your order will be ready soon.
Hmm.
But yeah, this was just another. I can't make the goop joke because there wasn't really any goop on it.
Uh-huh.
It just seemed like it had been picked out of a puddle and thrown together in this container. And it's like,
Picked out of a puddle.
fine.
That's not very flattering.
It's not flattering.
No.
It wasn't meant to be.
No.
Yeah, just the same old shit. Like, just I could pick out certain bits that were okay, but I mean,
So
very disappointing.
did you have a backup meal?
Very disappointing, but not even in a chow mein way that just infuriates you as a person. Just kind of infuriating is like, ugh, why even bother with this fucking thing?
So you would rate it?
Well, see, that's what's difficult. It's not offensively horrible. You could pick at it enough. You could pick out the cabbage and mix it up with rice better. It'd be okay, but I'm never ordering this again. I'm never going to think of this again. I'm going to do 4.1.
4.1. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to be slightly more generous based solely on, there was a healthy proportion of meat in there. So if you're a pork fan, you like the Chinese pork dishes.
I do.
I think this has had the most pork in it so far, right?
Are you are you sticking it to me? Because I got chicken.
Well, no, but I'm saying
you pork 8 times.
Yeah, you're always going on about you want the pork. I don't know why they gave you chicken. That's like I said, you should bring that back to them and get credit. You still have any left? You could show it to them.
Threw it away.
You threw it away. Well, that's
that's
every week, right? I mean, I you know what I do? I put it in the fridge, like, I'll have it, in a day or two, and then eventually I do throw it away myself. So
very, very responsible of you.
I like to think that I'm not a person who just throws food away all the time.
You're a person that doesn't throw food away for a day or two.
Yeah, it usually takes a couple of days. Yeah.
Well, what's your score?
Yeah, I'm not going to give it more. I think I'll give it a 5. Which is right down the middle. Yeah. Will I ever get it again? No. But I can't condemn it like the chow mein because pork fans may find this good, and maybe some places prepare it differently. Maybe it's less wet. That was my chief complaint, the wetness.
Yeah,
especially when
not in a good way, as in like great food should have a moistness to it. This just seemed wet.
And wet cabbage, there's something about that may be a personal thing of mine. When I see wet cabbage, and actually wet cabbage I would say is better than the wet lettuce we got with the chow mein. But it looks like wet lettuce. So I'm having a bad association as soon as I open a container. I'm like, what's that? I thought maybe it was the wet lettuce again.
I don't understand people with the wet lettuce and the wet cabbage. Like I get a sandwich here at my office cafeteria almost every day, and whatever I get, turkey, roast beef, whatever, lettuce and tomato. And there's 3 types of lettuce, and they always reach first for the leafy.
Oh yeah.
And I have to tell I always have to point out, no, please, I'd like the, the crunchy lettuce.
The iceberg.
Iceberg. Thank you, Mike, for embarrassing me in front of everybody. And they always seem surprised.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, who am I the only person getting, because it drives me nuts, like Wendy's, for instance. And I'm not even going to get the Chick-fil-A because fuck Chick-fil-A. Wendy's, probably the best regular fast food burger there is. But they insist on having this one warm, microwaved, limp thing of lettuce sitting there. And I'm just looking like, if you bite into it, at best it just gets warm and stringy.
Yeah.
Who's eating? Who wants this?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. In almost every fast food restaurant, oh, here's a warm leaf of lettuce that we're giving you instead of throwing it out. I don't understand this.
I hear you on the Wendy's lettuce. Yeah, it's always, you described it perfectly. I was actually, I could taste it, the last time I had one. But as far as the leafy green lettuce, I think that's like a class thing. I think they think like rich.
Oh, let's get to it, Mike.
Rich snobby
right.
people, right? They want that leafy green thing.
Leafy green.
They don't want the iceberg. Icebergs for the lower classes. That they don't even know what lettuce is. They're eating that iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, or as I call it, lettuce. Like it's either the one leaf that's guaranteed to be limp, and that, or like arugula or spinach, whatever those things are.
Right.
I think you're right. I think people will think I can't be seen getting regular iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
Like the common folks.
Yeah.
But then I was complaining about it, and somebody's always like, well, there's more nutrition in the whatever, the leafy green. I'm like, yeah, great. How many of these fucking things do I have to eat to make a difference in my health? 12 pounds of whatever it is?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, a couple of bites, I'm healthy. No, there's nothing in these things. If you eat 12 pounds, if you're Jeff Esper and can inhale 20 pounds, yes, you might get enough nutrients to make a difference. But otherwise, it's just nonsense. It lets them charge, back to your class thing, it lets them charge you more because, oh, I'm getting dark leafy lettuce. Look at me. But it sucks. And I'm going to say, if you try to serve it to me instead of iceberg, you're an asshole.
Just think of the classic lettuce sandwich, the BLT, right?
Yes.
You don't want a limp leafy thing in there. You want the crunch to go with the snap of the bacon and the squish of the tomato.
Yes. You want the cold snap of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Not here comes some strings of lettuce in my teeth.
Yeah.
I guess there was lettuce in there. Oh, I feel so healthy. Let me go knock out a half marathon. No.
Uh-huh.
People are assholes. They're all you know what? The only fast food place that does do lettuce right. I'm asking you a question, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm pondering. Burger King?
Burger King, yes.
Yeah.
Boom. They get the cold, crunchy.
Yeah.
Boom, right there.
Yeah.
McDonald's, I don't even know if they do lettuce. Yeah, but Burger King. Other than that, I don't even get the lettuce anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got to deal with it every day here. But
did you get a fortune cookie?
No, that's another thing I'm starting to realize. I literally can't remember the last fortune cookie I got.
Wow.
I don't get a fortune cookie. They never put the menus in the bag like they used to. I guess who prints out menus now? It's all online. But you seem to be getting menus.
Oh, I'm getting menus every order. I've got to lay the hammer down on that. I got to tell them that I already have 10 menus already. But yeah, it sounds like they're going cheap in your neighborhood.
What was your fortune? I know I was supposed to write a fortune for you this week, but
well, yeah,
I'm excited about Jeff Esper. So
yeah, I didn't write one either. I mean, these are such a cliche. I mean, listen to this one. Hard work pays off in the future.
Oh, fuck you.
Laziness pays off now. Uh-huh. All right.
Laziness pays off now.
Yeah. So you didn't get the job done. So you were being lazy, so you didn't get the job done. So you're going to get screwed right now,
Well, if being lazy works right now, wouldn't being lazy continually work for right now? Are you picking your mind up from the floor right now, Michael? Is your mind
I'm
blown?
trying to put my skull back together from the
I know.
explosion.
I know. Hey, I have to live with this 24/7, bro.
Uh-huh.
I would say that. Boy, that's obnoxious. I am going to write some fortunes this week.
Yeah, let's try and get. How about the theme song?
Didn't get to that either.
No. Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was all,
We got it. No, yeah, you did a good job this week. I give you
Okay.
10 points for the that was a true get. And that was just a random email you sent to him and he responded?
Yeah, just on a whim. Why not?
That's nice, yeah.
Sent him an email and he responded. Super nice, easy peasy.
Does he follow you on Twitter or Instagram or?
He's a big fan, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course he doesn't. No.
I don't know how you got his attention. Maybe.
I think he's just a nice guy. I think it's probably one of those things where it doesn't occur to people. It's like the old thing about you should walk up to the most gorgeous woman in the room because most guys don't.
Right.
I think most people think, oh, why would I try to bother him? Because he's such a, in that world, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
But not me.
I
didn't back down. I said, I'm Greg Wilson from Megfield What? I don't take crap. I don't take crap from nobody. So why not? On a whim, I just emailed him. Of course, I didn't expect to hear back from him. And just nice as you can. He was like, hey, and we worked it out. And $48,000 later, here we are.
How many followers does he have on YouTube?
Oh,
I think he said a pretty big number. I mean, he said he's making money, so it must be a pretty healthy number.
Entertain everybody while I quickly go to.
Maybe we can post a link in the comments over there.
I mean, I feel like an idiot. I should have it. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll do
little cross marketing.
Here we go. Cross marketing. 52,000 subscribers.
Yeah, 52,000. Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's more than we have.
Is it? Have we broken the 200 mark yet?
Whoa. That's ugly. I don't get into the numbers.
Yeah. Sorry, I shared the analytics.
I'm just an employee. I show up and get my check every 2 weeks. I don't need to know.
An employee.
I don't need to know how the sausage is made.
So did you start in cold blood yet?
I just got it yesterday, so I'm definitely starting it.
I'm going to. So I went back and I'm reading your blog. I hadn't read all those reviews of the
from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I was a fan I was a fan from the very beginning.
Yes.
But you are a prolific blogger. I mean, do you even miss a day? I mean, it seems like you don't even miss a day.
No.
I mean, it's you have a lot of content there
over the last 17 years. November, unless extenuating circumstances, I've never missed a day.
Wow.
I mean, but let's not act like it's.
Well,
don't start that Greg Wilson, you're a hero stuff, Mike.
You're the I've already forgotten a Baltimore guy's name.
Hero.
The Iron Man of bloggers.
I thought you were going to say I was a hero.
Who's the guy who?
You mean Cal Ripken Jr.?
Yeah.
The Baltimore guy. What's wrong with you? How do you know that? How do you know that much, but you don't know Cal Ripken?
I blank out on people's names. I've reached that age where names escape me.
I tell you what could be good though is you going through the years on my blog and picking out your comments, which have been colorful over the years, like out of context Mike List comments. Those would be good.
Well, I dropped.
You're talking about how intoxicating my blog was to you, and I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, early on, we were all sort of blogging together when the blogging craze hit. Myself.
And everybody said, "Ooh, it's as easy. I'm gonna get 1 million people reading me, and I'm gonna be a superstar."
We were all doing it. Friends of ours were doing it.
Yep.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
I think I lasted about 2 years, maybe. Well, you know what sort of ended it for me? I got
Having
fired.
to do within 3 minutes of it every week.
I got fired from my job. So it used to be a nice little escape during my work day.
Yeah.
I do a little entry,
Yeah.
but then when I
I
got
remember you.
fired, I was sort of in free fall for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
I never went back. But you've stuck at it all these years. I mean, it's almost like blogging is not a thing, it's not what it used to be. Uh, it's almost like the MySpace of social media.
Keep
Uh,
going. Keep going. Yeah.
the
Doing pretty
Napster,
good here, buddy.
the Napster of
How did I go from
online.
how did I go from thinking there was a compliment coming
No,
to Greg? You are the friendster of people.
no, you're in there for the duration, and we've had this discussion about what if you lose that, or because you put so much effort into it. I don't know if there's a way to back up, a lot of this stuff. If is that still on Blogspot?
Yeah.
It's on Blogspot.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to disappear one day, and that will be.
Yeah,
Because at
I
this
mean,
point, it's partly a it's a diary / scrapbook.
right.
At that point, if it did disappear, I would be heartbroken. Crestfallen. Thank you. I was going to say heartbroken. You said crestfallen. That sounds a little manlier. That sounds more cinematic.
Yeah,
Speaking of
less tears.
cinematic,
Less tears. Just a
Fewer tears.
frown on your face.
Yeah, more than the normal one.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of cinematic, how excited are you about? Well, oh shoot, two things. Today being the 40th anniversary of Nebraska,
Oh, here we go.
which
Yeah,
all music nerds have to insist is the only Springsteen album they like.
exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and
So
also, have
annoying.
you heard his new soul covers album coming out? Are you excited about that?
That'll be interesting. Yeah. You were more thrilled by his last record than me. I mean, I liked a bunch of the sort of mournful type songs on there,
Mhm.
but those old songs he dug up from his past. I mean, come on.
Eh,
Yeah, they would.
I wasn't. I liked it. I think if I went back to it, it really hit me in the moment. I don't know if I went back and listened to it now, be as good. Like I'm certainly not running back to it. Is what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. But you're right about the
Thank you.
cliche of the guy you run into in the bar. You start talking about Springsteen, and then they get to that moment, and then when that moment hits, where they go on about how I don't like Springsteen,
Yeah.
but I like Nebraska.
Yeah.
You
Right
just
on.
want to this is where you bow out of the conversation. It was
Yeah.
nice talking to you, fella, but
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from, and you're a walking cliche.
Yeah. Wow. Did you just come up with that one? Wow. Oh, let me guess. Smile. Put Pet Sounds to shame too. Let me write this one down too.
Do we blame Pitchfork for that? Is that where this got started?
I don't know. When did Pitchfork start? Because I feel like this is going on.
Well, Pitchfork's been around a while now.
It's been around for 20 years.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, it's been around 20 years.
Maybe Pitchfork.
Yeah.
I think it just at music nerds meetings, it just, hey guys, don't forget to constantly point out that you don't like Bruce except for Nebraska. But then I saw, and I love Nebraska. Don't get me, and I'm sure you do too. And then I see the big re-release for Nebraska 40th year. I'm like, oh, and I think Bruce is pumping this. I'm like, wow, let me. And of course, there's no outtakes or anything.
Right. That's all it was. Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm not paying $8,000 for like red vinyl or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Bruce needs to make his nut this year. It's been hard. He hasn't been touring. But
he didn't make a couple million touring this year. Yeah.
I know we want his children to have a Christmas this year.
A new pony.
A new pony, but
one of his daughters is into
out for the
whatever.
Yeah, for the what is it now when they get money off the whatever vinyl, crushed diamond vinyl, or what is it?
Well, yeah, I mean this is just all the classic rock, all the acts that have been around forever.
Because you're wrong there, but go on.
No, wait a second. I'm going to throw it right back in your face. Guess what else is coming out?
The Revolver box set.
Yes, there we
Yes,
go.
which sounds amazing.
How many versions of Revolver do you own now?
One.
One?
I just have a Revolver, but I do have that box set ordered coming on October 22nd, which is Waddy's birthday.
Okay.
Bigfoot, what? Fan?
Yeah.
And friend? Waddy.
Right.
October 22nd.
Okay.
But have you looked at the list? There's 5 discs or whatever, all the outtakes, all the different takes that are amazing.
But don't we have the outtakes from previous releases?
This sounds pretty amazing.
Okay, yeah, all right. So this is always just for the hi-fi crowd. So you're in the hi-fi crowd now.
Well,
what are you going to play this on?
Well, I'll say this.
Do you have a stereo?
Normally, I'm not. I'm not a hi-fi quality guy or whatever, or quality guy in general. But for this in particular, because I just stumbled onto something back in, speaking of my blog, I was looking for something. And even back in 2007, they had some reissue, and I was like, boy, one thing that we do get out of these reissues from the Beatles is with each one, you see, oh my God, McCartney was an even more incredible bass player than we thought. And so with each variation of these, everything gets peeled back. You see that. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about some of the variations of the other songs. But in general, I'm not the clarity on this, if you play it in the Himalayas with this needle, with the ground up teeth of Jerry Garcia and Phil Spector, it sounds amazing. I don't usually do any of that, but for Revolver, for the track list I've seen, I'm willing to give this a spin.
How much does it cost?
$11,000. I'm really gonna need this.
You're gonna need this egg foo what money, huh?
Yeah. Now, it was. I think I got the maximum, whatever the big package was.
So you get vinyl too?
The vinyl, yeah.
Oh wow!
Of course.
You have a record player still?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like $220.
Wow. Okay.
Which I'm not trying to act like I'm splashing around $200 but for this, I feel like it's worth it. But see, you were about to go on a rant about the Beatles want to take your money.
Well, I mean, I bought the black and the black box set, which was the stereo remasters, right? And it sounds great to me. You know, I can hear Paul McCartney's bass real good. So I don't know where you're going to get more bass sound out of this version.
Well, I guess if you're Paul McCartney or Mike Lisk with their dog ears, they don't need to be getting.
Did you get that box set?
No, I haven't gotten any of them.
Okay, all right. Well, then you've been waiting, and this is your moment. I give you credit for that. I thought I was going to hear that you have 7 different versions of Revolver already.
No,
you're back on the bandwagon. Okay.
No, because
all right, you're not a sucker.
No,
but I felt like, you know, all these bands, they know it's the last lap. You know, they've got to squeeze as much revenue out of us because we're dying.
Yeah.
Right. They're dying, and then it'll be over. That'll be it. You know, there'll be heirs, of course, that will keep the flag flying. But you know, the artists are going, and then we're going. The fans.
This has been another episode of Egg Foo. What the jeez.
But anyway, I mean,
but again, I'm not one of these guys. If you tell me, oh, this is Revolver, but remastered to sound better, I'm not going to care. But because it has a ton of outtakes and different takes, that's
we got all those outtakes, didn't we? On those, what were the anthologies, right?
Anthology had some, but not a lot.
So they're always holding back a little just so they can do something in the future. Is that what you're telling us?
That's not what I'm telling you, Mike Lisk. I don't know. That's a good question because I'm always like, well, was this stuff lying around or did they wait for technology? Because part of what is going to make this great is they have that Peter Jackson technology from the Get Back movie.
Yeah. So
they were really able to go in and strip things down and make them sound like whatever. So that does appeal to me. That extra oomph. Otherwise, I'm not a sound guy that would be too. Oh, this is remastered. Wow. Okay. Who knows? Who cares? But,
All right. I'll await your review before I make a purchase.
yeah,
The
it's not like a stone
Springsteen.
to just put out the same fucking, stick your fingers every 8 minutes, so you got to buy. So.
No, they've been giving you more too. I mean, they've been some of those re-releases were pretty good. The Exile, the Some Girls was good. Had a lot of excellent stuff. Actually, the Goat's Head Soup had like a live. I mean, I didn't buy it because it was like $300 or something to get that deluxe package, but you can listen to it on Spotify, a live show that's phenomenal. So they've been unleashing a lot of good stuff from that their peak period. They know what the good stuff is.
Yeah, they play it at all their shows, the same 17 good
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, I probably will never see them live again. I'm kind of, I don't really need to see them. Yeah, why they stick to, the same encores, relentlessly is beyond me.
Are they going to do Start Me Up? Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
No, yeah. I mean, it's they're on
I'll tell you
automatic pilot for a
one.
good part of it.
I'll tell you another one I'm excited. I got the Kinks are reissuing Muswell Hillbillies and Everybody's in Show Business package, because both of those came out 50 years ago. They're coming together in a nice package. I'm excited about them. They don't really seem to have a ton of bonus shit, which goes against my why would I do it? But I was just excited. I love the Kinks, and it seemed like a big deal to them. So, and Dave liked 2 of my tweets, so we're best friends. So I don't want it to be weird.
Yeah.
When you say, "Hey, what did you think?" and then I got to pretend I listened to it. But now I get to actually listen to it.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Springsteen soul covers?
Did they announce? I didn't see the songs.
Well, the track listing is great.
Is it? Yeah.
But then he had put out a video of one of them, and I don't know if I made it through half of it. It's like, okay. He's doing a couple.
You're not selling it to me right here. I mean, I heard about the project. I didn't see the track listing, so I'm a little behind with the news. But it sounded like an interesting idea for him, rather than doing a standards album, right? You can't see that happening like they Rod Stewart or Van Morrison, and a lot of people do the standards route.
It's a great idea, and again, I looked at the track list, and it's fantastic. And I was super excited about it, but then I heard this, then I saw and it's just like, okay, yeah.
But are they like just like the obvious soul hits? I mean, is it like Motown?
No. Yeah, some Motown, but yeah, not obvious. It's like,
okay.
I'm sure they're, labors of love, songs he loved, coming up and everything. I mean, I'll give it a chance. I'm more excited about this than I am of any album he would be putting out.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea,
but
so I'll check it out, definitely. I mean, he's been doing soul covers from the beginning, covers, and that's why I always, I don't think it's a knock to say that he's a bar band. Bruce Springsteen is a bar band.
Oh yeah,
and he never changed, really. I've said that about the Grateful Dead. They're a bar band. They continued doing like Chuck Berry covers till the end. So, they never lost their bar band roots.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with a bar band,
No, I would love it if Bruce went out as a 3-piece and rocked bars. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling this soul thing is probably a little bit over the top. Like, I don't know. That's just based on the one song I heard. Which
is it with the E Street Band, or did he bring in some different people? That would be interesting, actually.
I don't think it's the E Street Band.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I haven't gone back to it since I tried to listen to that one song, but I don't know. I don't know what's the feeling in Jersey about it.
Well, if he brings in a different group of people to sort of energize him, I think that would be interesting. Yeah.
Which he might not have done.
Okay.
I don't know one way or the other.
Yeah. We'll find out. I wanted to also mention, since you're reading In Cold Blood, I'm going to read Frankenstein. I never read
You
Frankenstein.
never read Frankenstein?
Yeah, so I saw your write up on your blog
Yep.
about Frankenstein. I have a copy here. I'm like, okay. I thought it was longer for some reason. It's not that long.
It's 206 pages.
Yeah.
And I never read it before last year either.
Uh-huh.
And it is it's in my top 10. It is incredible, but not for like, yeah, I thought it was like going to be scary, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Scary.
yeah.
None of that at all has anything to do with why I love it.
Uh-huh.
I was blown away by how great that book is, how much I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I was looking, I kind of skimmed the first couple pages of In Cold Blood last night after I got it. I don't know why I started it before and crapped on it after like a couple pages. I don't know what.
Sometimes that happens with books. I've had books which I later loved. I couldn't get into it right away for whatever reason. You go back to it and then like you're loving it. So it depends on your mood when you pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Then the other one is makes me think of when I read Sister Carrie. I read like the first, I don't know, what is it, 400 pages? I hated it. I kept reading. I couldn't stop because I hated the books. I just hate read. But then the last 100 pages were incredible.
Yeah.
I guess that's an early version of like, if you just get through the first 8 episodes of this series, the ending will be great.
Yeah, I don't know why you hated. I mean, I think that's one of his best books. I actually was kind of pushing him on you.
Well, I loved American Tragedy.
Yeah, yeah. You went with that first.
Yeah.
See, I went the other way. I went Sister Carrie because it's shorter. But they're similar. I think they're similar stories.
They're similar.
You know,
I can't remember. I mean, it's been 15 years. I can't remember the ending, why I turned around and I loved it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved American Tragedy. And maybe I'll go back and reread Sister Carrie since I did love the end. But yeah, I don't know what got a burr in my saddle about that's my southern talking, a little burr in my saddle. I don't know how that happened. About In Cold Blood, but it's definitely my spooky October reading for this year. So did you read my Edgar Allan Poe reviews?
Yes, I did. And I mean, I looked at your top 10, your ratings, and pretty much I had read all the stories that you liked. And I think most of the stories you disliked, I hadn't read before. So I'm like, oh, okay. I came out the winner. I think the only one that you disliked, and I didn't really think much of it at the time, was the Gold Bug.
Yeah.
Which
what I did learn reading all of these back to back is there's a reason we all read the same 4 stories from him.
I mean,
I've never seen another, like when I was a kid, in like 5th grade,
right?
It'd be like, oh, you write a short story about whatever, and you'd write, oh, it has to be a page long, and I get all excited in the beginning. I don't know, there's a story about a blogger, Chinese food. One of them kills the other one, whatever, and I'm all excited. But halfway through, I'd peter out. I'd just get tired, so I'd always go, oh, and then he woke up and it was all a dream.
But I mean, the language is so flowery and overdone; it's overcooked. But
that's what he does. If half of these quote unquote mysteries, you read it and you're like, all right, well, what happened? I don't know. And he's always like, yeah, you didn't see this, but it's like off screen.
Yeah,
Kobe ran over and sliced his head off. Well,
yeah, it's a cheat. He's a cheater.
It's a cheat.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, you didn't see this because you're reading this book, but over there, this guy did that, and
I withheld certain important information from you.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think I've told this story before, but not to you maybe. But
ouch.
No, this
loud and clear, my
I got I've reached the age where I'm repeating myself to people, and I have to sort of announce that before I go forward. But in the 3rd grade, I had a teacher who read The Telltale Heart to us. 3rd grade.
Yeah, we went to see a performance of it in Richmond. 9th grade, which is better than 3rd grade. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you could get away with reading a story like that to a 3rd grade class without traumatizing, but I became a reader from that experience. That's when I wanted to read, because then you remember they had Scholastic books. You'd order books,
Oh yeah.
And I still have the copy of the Edgar Allan Poe anthology I ordered for 50 cents or whatever it was.
Really?
Yeah. But that's how I became a reader. So, like, they talk about a teacher can have, like, an influence like that. I had a teacher who did that in the 3rd grade. Then I had a teacher in the 5th grade who read from the Odyssey. This was one of the worst teachers I ever had.
You
I mean,
still going?
this guy had no control over the class. I
Ooh.
mean, you came into that class and it was just like chaos, you know. But I do remember the one time he captured my attention. He read from the Odyssey, the Cyclops incident, and it was phenomenal. And that made me, want to read other things. So yeah, I mean, teachers had an influence on me as far as being a reader,
Mhm.
just in these couple isolated incidents.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you
I'm
have like
jealous.
teachers like that who kind of, because you're
Uh,
a big reader. I mean, you've been reading, I guess,
yeah.
from an early age.
I don't. I'm jealous you have a specific book and moment. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't have a. Well, I don't want to brag, but I could read before I went to kindergarten. But my family, all big readers.
uh,
Number one, back then there was literally nothing else to do.
mhm.
Uh, my parents read all the time. So yeah, that's all you kind of did, and I would use reading to get out of doing chores. If my
Really?
dad was walking around and you were just
Uh-huh.
sitting there like a dope, he'd make up some chore to go outside and do, like rake the driveway or something. But if
Uh-huh.
you were reading a book, he'd be like, oh, excuse me. Like
Uh,
that was like, oh, you're reading.
okay.
So that helped me
Yeah.
enjoy reading. Anything to get me out of manual labor, I'm for. And but yeah, boy, I wish I could remember a specific book or moment. It was just always there. Yeah, I've just always been a reader. Uh,
Because
that
they do make you read a lot of crap. I mean, I don't know if you had, I think it was called SRA, and they were
Yes,
they were color coded cards or something.
SRA.
Remember, is that what it was called?
What was that? Wasn't
It,
that
it
like
was the
it divide
box with,
you into groups? Like this is the smart group, this is the dummy group.
yeah, but it was like
You
color
do that in the
coded,
70s.
and you went through the box, and the colors were
Right.
different degrees of difficulty. I mean,
I think that's where I got those stories I was talking about where I'd peter out. You'd pull a card out or whatever. They can write a story about, assholes and lettuce, kind of thing. I think that's part of, boy, talk about blowing my mind, Mike List.
mhm.
SRAs. I hadn't thought of those in 100 years.
Yeah, but when you think back, with me, I'm giving my examples. These isolated incidents where I had like really good stuff presented to me,
Mhm.
it really caught my attention. But then, most of the time I'm reading the junk, and if I just read the junk, maybe I wouldn't have become a reader, because it was just
Well,
a couple incidents where it's like, oh, wait a second. Everything isn't like these stupid SRA cards,
yeah.
books that can actually be interesting.
Well,
Um,
it's like if you're lucky enough to discover a certain band, then that's why you might get into music as opposed to some other bands. Like famously, everybody's like, "Oh, I heard the Ramones, so I started a band because it
mhm,
seemed possible," as opposed to Hendrix or whatever. But
yeah.
but I will say, speaking of 3rd grade and reading, I did have another sort of awakening during book reading. Then 3rd grade, we had a new English teacher, or she's my homeroom teacher.
Mm.
Uh, no, I'm sorry, 2nd grade. And she was, I have to say, easy on my beady little peepers at the time.
Yeah.
Every day she would sit and read uh, Wrinkle in Time.
Okay.
And I don't know what the hell the book was about, but I discovered if she was wearing a dress or a skirt, and
Okay.
I positioned myself on the floor where we were
Okay.
instructed to sit,
Okay. Well, 2nd grade.
and I have to look at her to follow along. If somehow I got to see the hidden palace of the Himalayas as a young man, that was an added bonus.
You dirty dog. 2nd
Whoa,
grade.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Excuse me.
2nd grade.
I was told to sit on the floor and
Okay.
listen
All right.
while she read this book.
Okay.
I did not ask for any of this,
Yes. Okay.
but when you'd be looking,
Mhm.
sometimes amazing things would happen. Not all the time.
Uh-huh.
And you get a glimpse into what I thought was my future, but has turned out to just be a bit of disappointment after bit of disappointment. So that's a connection that I went to talking
Okay.
about reading, but
Uh-huh.
that didn't spur me to read more. It just made me probably more disgusting as a little boy than I would have been normally. But
Yeah, second grade, I don't think I hadn't had an inkling. I was still in the wilderness of
oh,
innocence.
oh, not me, not me, my Glyphs. I
You
was led
you
to the promised land.
you were an early bloomer.
Well, I was shown the promised land. I don't know if I certainly didn't know what the hell to do with it. But,
Well, you know that Moses never made it to the promised land. You know that, right?
well, let's not make this religious, Mike. We're trying to have a
I'm
nice
just
show
saying.
here. We're
I'm
trying
just
to talk about
saying.
me as
You
a
were
little boy discovering
you
my
were a
own
young Moses,
manhood.
and like Moses, uh, you
That
would
was
only
my
get a glimpse.
that was my
Moses did get a glimpse of the promised land.
that was
He
my
saw
40
it from a hill, I believe. But
I saw it from the breezy orange carpeting of Tappahannock Elementary School. And I got to tell you, I did not have to walk through 40 years of the desert.
Yeah.
I just, bloop, there it was.
Uh-huh.
Now, the 40 years after have been wandering through the desert, but that not before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in that desert too.
I mean, I'm just trying to talk about a young boy's sexual awakening through reading. You got to bring up Moses.
Yeah.
Gee, well,
All
you
right.
know why
I
we
think-
don't have 50,000 subscribers like Jeff Esper.
Yeah. I don't think we can top that. So I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Well, crappy food as usual.
Yeah.
But again, I have to say how much I loved having Jeff on. He's so fantastic, even better than I'd built up in my head. And I just I can't wait to see him again, hopefully. So
yeah, that was a great interview. I couldn't get a word in edgewise, but I was happy.
sorry, I was excited. I know.
I was happy. I was happy you took it by the reins. I mean, he was your guy, so you did a great job, Greg.
No chance I'm listening to that because I know I just sound like a blithering idiot.
No, you took control and you did a good job.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to thank everybody for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends.
We'll get Jeff's info and the links and everything, so you all can become fans of his as well. Not as great of fans as you are of Egg for What, but still. So.
All right, guys, take care.
Have a good one, buddy.